Hi and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lynn, and in this video I'm just going to show this book I finished, and I'm really excited about how it turned out. It's the first time I actually used the Sizzix Eileen Hall pocket notebook die, and it's a Big's Scoreboard die, and I'm really happy with how this turned out. So if you happen to have caught my accordion book showcase or tutorial video, you will have seen me make something similar but in a totally different style. Those two books were for my mom and for my mother-in-law, and this one is going to my stepmother-in-law. So the way that the die works is that you can cut this cover out of mat board or chipboard. Because it's a Scoreboard's die, Big's die, it can cut through thicker material. And then the die itself will also cut the spine, and it punches, I don't know if you can see it, but there's 3 holes, and there's a set of holes at the top and a set of holes at the bottom. You can't see it because I wanted to cover that up from the outside. So I took some paper leather from Sizzix, or I think these days they're calling it their Surfaces texture roll. But basically it's just very durable. It's still paper, it's just very durable and flexible. And so I took a piece of that and just wrapped it around the spine to give it a little bit of a leather-bound sort of look, but also just to hide the holes there and the binding. And these are basically, those holes are meant so that you can actually create signatures if you thread it with some elastic. So I can actually pull out this entire book. And this is this book I actually cut using the on the Scoreboard's die is one section of the die is actually meant to cut out the insert booklet. So in normal sort of traveler's notebook style, you would fold it in half and then maybe staple it or sew the center binding and then slip that into your spine here. But I decided to actually each of the folded pages, I glued them together and attached it this way. So I get a very thick book that's really sturdy, and as you flip through, I die cut some pockets into the pages, the decorative sheets, so that I'm gonna add some lines here so that it's easy to write on these. But the idea being that, similar to the accordion style book, for every month there's a little tag, and she can write down important dates in that month. And on this side, I really love how this turned out, and I do want to make another one. I don't know if it'll be for myself or for somebody else, but I added an extra pocket on this side so that you could put maybe appointment cards. Let's say you have like a doctor's appointment or a dentist appointment or something. You could actually slip that in here, or for whatever month that you have that appointment. And it's just like an extra little kind of storage spot. And then, you have all of the months, 2 months in each spread here. And then, so that's the one signature, and I do have sort of a title page which I still need to decorate. And the reason why I did that was just so that this would like have an even number of pages on both sides. And because this is fairly heavy, when I went to add the binding, I just doubled it up because my elastic is actually fairly thin. I think it's 1.2 millimeters, and so I wanted to make sure it was sturdy enough to really hold such a thick book in here. And then on the last signature here, I also double bound it with two loops of elastic. And that's just to put in these custom envelopes that I made. So the envelopes are actually the elastic. I don't know if you can see it. It's actually inside the envelope, so you don't see it, but by the same token, this is fairly permanent in here. You can't take it out. But that's the beauty of making your own custom envelope, because before you glue this flap down, you can nestle that elastic right inside and then glue your flap down, and then you've got a really clean, hidden, attached envelope. And so I put 2 here just so that, whatever she'd like to store, she can have these 2 extra little pockets to keep things in. And then I use the We Are Memory Keepers envelope notcher for the closure. So it's kind of similar to how if you want to see one of these put together, I do have, I think, an envelope mini album where I use the notcher. So I'll link to that up here in case you want to see that in action. But I really love how this turned out, and it's nice and like kind of sturdy little book, but it's a nice size. Let me see what it measures. If I'm just taking the straight part, it measures about 4 and a quarter, just shy. Maybe 4 and an eighth, really. And then this way is 6 3/4. So about 4 by 6 3/4. But a little bit more than 4 because I've got, the curve of the spine. And I did have to punch. The spine is doubled up here, so it's pretty sturdy, but the texture roll here is more just for aesthetics, but it does have some extra kind of stability to kind of keep everything held in place. But you will need to actually punch an extra little hole here if you want to do the style of closure where you can just loop the elastic around it. But really, it stays closed fairly well, so even if you didn't have the elastic, I think it would be okay. But it's kind of nice to have that there. And it's not too late, but I may add a charm to the elastic or something to dress it up just a little bit, so that it's not so plain. But otherwise, yeah, I'm really digging these scoreboard die, and I'm actually looking at getting the new one that that Eileen Hall just put out, which is the folio die, because I think it's a 5x5 folio, so it's got a lot of I think she uses pretty much the entire 13-inch scoreboard die, and you can create some really interesting projects from anything from a simple book like this or album to folios with pockets and multiple flaps and stuff like that. So I might get that because I had a lot of fun making this one. And I think it turned out really well, and I sort of want to make another one. So if I do make another one, I would definitely shoot a tutorial on how to do that. I didn't record myself making this one because I had never used the die before, so it was a bit of a discovery. Although it turned out to be really straightforward, so I really should have just recorded it because it wasn't very hard to figure out or make this at all. So if I do make another one of these, I'll be sure to turn on the camera and shoot a tutorial so that you can see how easily one of these comes together. So that's my share for today. I hope that everybody's doing well, and until my next video, happy crafting and have a fantastic day. Thanks. Bye.